Hey guys, what's going on? I didn't know what to make this video about. So I'm gonna head out for a run now, and I'll catch you guys when I come back. Alright guys, so heading out. It's actually raining at the moment, so shows a great day. Really chose a great day to go for a run. Fucking freezing, it's raining. It's dried up now, so hopefully it stays this way, but we'll see how it goes. I don't know if you guys can hear that. There's a lot of people with the noisy out here, so it's something that I apparently get used to. I've been here for about 2 weeks, so we'll see if that's actually true or not. But what's going on? So I did a recording before this, but it cut out, so here goes take 2. Objective is just to share with you guys what my fitness or my thoughts on fitness are, and some of the routines that I go through. Previously, growing up, actually, you know, just in general, I've always been pretty active, right? So I've always focused on being part of social sports, indoor soccer. Used to do push-ups and sit-ups growing up. Had compulsory sports in high school, so I didn't really have a choice. But even as a kid, I used to run around playing tag and all that sort of stuff. I was always pretty active, and I think that's why I've got a pretty good metabolism. I think when I was 15, 16, I did a lot of push-ups, and I used to do put things in my mind, right? And I think this is where I developed my a bit of mental will to stick things out in early days, and that was putting an idea into my mind. For example, if I do 300 sit-ups, I'll end up going on a date with that girl, or whatever, corny thing it was when I was like 14 or 15. And I made that a thing, right? So that helped me achieve my goals. I used to do that on the treadmill. If I run for another 5 minutes and total 25 minutes, I'll make $1 million before I turn 28, for example, right? Obviously it didn't happen, but it wasn't a harmful goal to sort of have, or to plan in my mind as an imaginary thing. So it's not the worst thing to do. I've started becoming, I've always gone through phases of being very conscious of what I eat. When I first moved out, for example, what things are healthy for you. I learned a little bit about vitamins and nutrients and stuff when I studied health and education back in year 11 and year 12. So I've got a general idea of what's healthy for you and what's not, and that's probably like 20% of the supermarket. The section that's right next to the veggies and tucked away in the corner, not close to the register, more sort of out of your way, that side. So interesting, isn't it? What do you guys actually do as part of your routine? How do you keep fit? I know that, or YouTube says to me that you guys are actually 90% of you are between the ages of 25 and 34, which means you're right in that bracket or demographic where you're the same age as me. So what do you guys do to remain active, assuming that, are you guys working full-time jobs, part-time? And how do you actually keep active? Do you still play indoor soccer? Do you guys go for a run? Do you go for walks every day? Is there a park? Do you have a dog that you look after and he keeps you fit or she keeps you fit? Yeah, look, the other thing I started thinking was I always have a battle between spending too much time indoors at the gym and being active and doing cardio. So that balance there, I think, for me now is 2 or 3 times in the gym. So I can build broader shoulders with weights that I probably can't achieve as quickly doing free body weights, and then supplementing that with functional stuff. So spending a whole day outdoors, for example, walking, maybe going for a jog once or twice a week if the weather's nice and permits. Also, I want to do this thing where I want to encourage my girlfriend to actually spend more time outdoors. So I was thinking having some sort of arrangement, for example, committing to spending one entire day outside per month. So it wouldn't be practical to commit that to once a week. Not saying you couldn't, but I'd rather make goals that I can sort of stick to. Once a month is actually quite practical, and that would allow us to choose a nice day where we don't have anything particularly planned, and instead of watching Netflix, we can spend the entire day outside and then maybe do a bit of shopping and cook and, you know, have our mindset sort of geared towards more outdoor living and more sort of what nature intended for. You know, I've had problems with my lower back in the past, and I think it's mostly from being playing video games, sitting in the seat for too long. A lot of it's not stretching, going to heavier weights without the stretching, plus sitting down, plus riding a motorbike. I think it all compounds together, making for these little problems that I didn't really notice in my 17, 18, 19, 20. But now in my mid to late 30s, I'm starting to feel some of those issues coming through. So definitely would like to become more flexible. I want to find ways to deal with pain. I'm only getting older, and I think that while I can remain fresh, it's still important to look after myself physically. So, you know, I'm not perfect, and I'm hesitant about sharing this, but previously and sometimes now I still have the occasional cigarette. So I do want to drop cigarettes. If you're in your teenage years or early 20s, don't pick up cigarettes or quit while you can. It's a terrible habit. There are little moments where you do enjoy it, but for the most part, you're going to regret it. And it's one of those things that just it's not proportionately. It doesn't benefit you in a proportionate amount of ways that it's damaging you. So, and it's one of those things that's gradual. So most people smoke because they enjoy the short-term benefits, like looking cool or feeling like a bit of a rebel or whatever, right? It's not worth it. So trying to cut that out, having enough water, so just having water readily around. I'm a big believer of adding things rather than subtracting things and removing your vices. So one of the things I've added is vegetables that I don't already eat. Adding one day a month where I'll spend time outdoors. Add some meditation and yoga rather than cutting out all this time gaming or sitting around watching Netflix. I like to focus on things that I can add, so that way I see it as a positive thing, and things I'm getting in addition rather than things that I have to give up. So I think that helps, and naturally you're going to have to make time for the things that you want to keep adding if you do that. So I think it's a good mindset. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is something that may or may not interest you, but I like to make videos to give you guys a better understanding of where I come from and my story and how I got into trading and all that sort of stuff, and this is part of it. I'm usually pretty frugal when it comes to sort of spending and investing. However, on little things like electronics, I'm a big sucker for, and I think a lot of you guys can relate. And toys like motorbikes, cars and stuff, I've wasted money on them, but I've been pretty good. I generally don't hang on to cars and don't invest too much into mods and things like that, so good in that sense. But otherwise, I'm starting to think little things, if they bring you value, are not necessarily bad to spend on. Things like a Medium account. So for any of you guys that don't know, Medium is an application that lets you read blogs, and they're generally slightly better content. I prefer reading content like this, don't mind paying a little bit extra. It's like something like $6 or $7 a month. And I easily get a few hours of good quality content compared to what I consume on Facebook. I'd like to reduce my time spent on Facebook and spend more time reading, journaling, writing things down, and working on these videos and things like that. So hoping to make this a big focus this year and early into next year, so we'll see how that goes. All right, we're gonna wrap that one up, and tell me your thoughts. What do you guys do as part of your physical well-being? So do you do exercise? Do you have a gym close to work, or do you train straight after work? Do you train before work? What's your routine look like? Okay, gonna leave it at that. Peace.